Our guest today, a longtime friend of mine with Melissa's, is Diane Morgan. She has written quite a few books there. Your James Beard Award winner one, which was it in 2012 when she introduced it. She won an award that way for the book, and they're doing a reprint on it. So this is a great time to talk about it. And she's going to be talking about, roots. You look at it as a winter vegetable, but we're going to see it as a year-round thing. So anyway, we're going to get into our formal presentation as we usually do at about 12 noon today. But Diane, we'll go ahead and introduce today's menu. All right? Thank you.
Yeah, so it was really fun. Thank you. It was really fun. Robert's like, okay, pick recipes to do from the book. And I'm like, okay, salads, and we'll do some apps and dessert. And I did the whole gamut in the book because I wanted to exploit the goodness of roots. The savory, which is obvious, and the sweet, which is less obvious. And so hence, the dessert are my beet cupcakes. And the basis of it is, we think of those as the Red Devil cupcakes, but if you make them with real beets instead of food coloring and cocoa, they just taste wonderful, and you're eating real vegetables in it, and in a sweet way. So there's two salads that they've made for you. There's a celery root salad with celery leaves and raisins, golden raisins that are soaked, so that kind of adds the sugar element to it, the sweetness. Celery root's one of these magical, because it can be eaten raw, it can be cooked, and people don't know what to do with it. So we're going to cut into one today. The daikon and Asian pear salad is just a perfect. Daikon is another one. People don't really understand it, except that you see it all over the place. Almost every supermarket has it. They think of it as just an Asian flavoring, and it's not. So we take it into a salad, really crispy, along with the Asian pear. We got to get sweet potatoes off of just Thanksgiving. It's a year-round. They're so nutritious. They're so just a superfood. They're an absolute superfood. I grill roast them and eat them at breakfast. You don't need anything on them. I'll have one in the refrigerator. I warm it up and cut it in half. And you don't need butter. You don't need honey. They're just good. So I did a Moroccan sweet potato salad. The funny thing is I knew this was going to be on the menu, and last weekend we were having friends for dinner, and so I made it, and I served it along with grilled hanger steak. So it's a perfect summer root vegetable to use. I have a thing about crab cakes. Crab cakes have to have minimal ingredients, so you actually taste the crab. And so ginger is just a perfect accompaniment in it, and it really brightens the flavor of the crab. And I love using ginger. It's just perfect. Couldn't resist also with ginger to do the Korean barbecue. You make a big marinade, garlic and scallions and soy and brown sugar and tons of ginger, and you mix it in. And also in the ginger family is homemade ginger ale. Do not miss tasting this. It's so good. And I haven't made it for a while, and I just took a sip. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot how good it is. So you can make up a batch, and then you just dilute it down. You've made a concentrate. So good. And this is really fun. This is a more wintry element. This is fun to do at the holiday time. It's a pork loin roast, and it's done with dry cherry tomatoes, salsify, carrots, and chickpeas. It's it's like a one-dish roasted. You've got your vegetables in there. You can serve a green vegetable on the side. It's perfect. So that was a really nice one to add. And hardly anyone knows what to do with salsify, and so we'll talk about that. And then the beet cupcakes, as I started off, and it has an orange buttercream topping, so it's a really nice little treat. They're cute. I was doing a baby shower, and I made these as little minis. So do know that one recipe, which I think makes 24, makes 48 little minis in case you ever want. And they freeze really well, so it's fun to have.
Did you guys enjoy that lunch today or what? Delicious menu. The recipe created by Diane, the Roots book, and prepared by only two of our chefs today, Pita and Chef Raquel. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit of Diane. Even though I've known Diane for quite some time, we meet every year, typically at the IACP conference, which is about springtime every year. She is an award-winning chef and author of 18 cookbooks. She's only done 18 now. I'm sure she's working on another one really soon. Roots, the definitive compendium with the 225 recipes. That's why it makes that book so meaty. It's a thick one. Roots won the prestigious James Beard Award and also the coveted IACP Award for cookbooks in a single subject. The New York Times, the Washington Post, Chicago Tribune, among others, named Roots as one of their top cookbooks of the year. So hopefully it makes your top 10 as well. Her other cookbooks include, maybe some of you have them, maybe some of you don't, Skinny Dips, The Christmas Table, The New Thanksgiving Table, Grill Every Day, Salmon, Pizza, Delicious Dips, The Thanksgiving Table, Midnight Munchies, Cooking for the Week, The Basic Gourmet Entertains, and Dress to Grill, savory recipes for girls who play with fire. So, and then also Gifts Cooks Loves, written in conjunction with Sir Latov, and published by Andrew McNeil. And also Diane has been food writing for several publications like the LA Times food section, the Oprah O magazine, Every Day with Rachel Ray, Bon Appetit, you name it, she's done it. Fine Cooking, Cooking Live, which I'm a part of, Clean Eating magazine. Her website is DianeMorganCooks.com. Our guest today, Diane Morgan.
Thank you, Robert. It's so fun to be here. I mean, truly, Robert and I see each other every year at ICP, and it was just, I think Roots came out before he started doing this series because I could have been here, and it was an easy yes because my son lives in LA, and so it's a win-win because we'll visit him this weekend. So I was told that no one ever finishes the container of, and I just want you to know how easy it is to make homemade ginger ale, and just so much more interesting than what you're buying in a bottle. So I'd love to tell you I know all these recipes off the top of my head, but I don't. But this is essentially a half cup of grated fresh ginger, 1 cup of pearling packed light brown sugar, and 1 cup of water. And you make a concentrate, and you're simmering that mixture, you're cooling it down, and then you make individual glasses with club soda, lime juice, some lemon juice, and then a squeeze of lime. And it's so refreshing. It's really fun to do for a party. You know, you could throw some vodka in it. But it's just a really unusual, and I want to go through, we're going to make 2 recipes where we're going to make the celery root salad and the Moroccan potato salad. But I wanted to just talk about roots because people don't know what to do with them and they don't know how to get into them. And to be honest, when I started the book, I told my editor I had this idea for a book. And because I had done enough books with him, he'd listen to me. And we'd argue, but he'd listen to me. And so I said to him, I had just been at the farmer's market on the Saturday, and there was Burdock Root. And well, what first happened, and I write about this at the introduction of the book, this woman comes up to me on buying celery root. It's prior to Thanksgiving, and I have 4 celery roots because we have like 20 people coming. And so I'm going to make a celery root puree. And so I'm just buying these. And this woman stops me and taps me. What are those? And I said, oh, it's celery root, celeriac. And she goes, what do you do with it? And I said, well, it's amazing. You know, you can eat it raw, you can boil it, you can roast it, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I go on my spiel. And she goes, okay, but it's kind of ugly. And I'm like, yeah, it is, but it's delicious. So I buy my celery roots, I move on. And I'm at this other vendor, and I see Burdock Root, which looks a little bit like salsa pea. It looks like these wooden sticks. But Burdock Root, and I had never seen it before. So I stopped the farmer and I'm like, what is that? And he goes, well, it's burdock root. I'm like, what do you do with it? And he goes, oh my God, it's amazing. And he said, he said, you want to buy it really fresh, you don't want to peel it, you scrub it, but it's the woody outer part that when you cook it softens, but it gives it this lovely taste. And I'm like, really? But I didn't buy it. Okay, so I went on, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I know celery root, I know beets, carrots, you know, but I'm like, I don't know burdock root. And I started looking up other roots, and I called my editor, and I'm like, I want to do a book on root vegetables. And I said, I want to do the Bible on root vegetables. And he's like, really? It's like watching paint dry. Then Bill and I had this contentious relationship, and you know, when I first wanted to do my Thanksgiving book, Bill said to me, why would you do a cookbook on Thanksgiving? It's one day of the year. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. Everybody cooks on Thanksgiving. Even if you don't cook, you cook on Thanksgiving. So they let me do the book. And he said, roots. Okay, Diane, this is what you have to do. And I'd already done like, I don't know, 10 books with Bill LeBlanc, my editor. And he said, I need a full-blown proposal. I don't need 3 pages, like a summary of what you're going to do that we'll say yes to. I need a full-blown proposal. I'm like, okay, you're on. And so I turned in this proposal that is 60 pages. And I did the whole beets chapter to show him that what I wanted to do is that I wanted this book to be written by root. And there's 29 roots that are known roots, and then there's these obscure roots that you see in Caribbean cuisine and in Africa, and that's sort of like my odds and ends last chapter of the book. So I laid out that so here's the beets chapter. There would be a photo of beets. I would give the history and lore, give a backdrop. I would talk about the varieties. I would talk about the nutrition, the availability, what to look for when you're buying it, how to store it, how to do the basic preparation, and anything else that I call a cautionary note. Like beets and turmeric, you really want to have gloves on just because, you know. I mean, it's the same thing with pomegranates. It's like if you want your hands stained red or orange, you don't need to, but it's helpful. And then I gave yields. So, you know, what does 1 medium beet, you know, is 3 to 5 ounces, and 1 cup of peeled and grated beets is 6 ounces. So you had a reference back and forth to know. And then there were just basic recipes, and then all these different recipes using. And that's how the whole book was going to be laid out. So they're like, okay, do it. So 2 years it took me to do the book. I went root by root, and I had to do it by the season when, like, you were talking about parsley root, and I could get parsley root. And so, but I could only get it a certain time of year. Or parsnips. You can't get parsnips until after the first frost. That's when well, you can get them, but the best time is after the first frost. So anyway, I just laid out the book as to when that availability was. And I went to Asian markets. I went to markets that had Caribbean products, that had Mexican products. And I was able to source locally 19 of the 29 roots in the book, and the others I had to, like, I stumbled on what's called arrowhead, which is a Chinese root. It's actually in North America, it's called wapatu. And but But I just stumbled into this Japanese market of ours in Portland called Wajimaya, and there's Arrowhead, and it's used in Chinese New Year. And so I was like, oh my God, there's Arrowhead. And it was like, now I'll just start working on that and figure out what to do with it. And I bought like, 10 pounds of it. And so anyway, so that's sort of the journey of it. And I learned a lot along the way. I'm not going to stand up here and say, oh, I was an expert on roots. And I wrote the book because I was an expert. No, I made myself an expert because I really wanted to study it. And it was just a fascinating journey. And what happened is I'm traveling around the country, I'm doing classes and book signings and whatnot, and this young fellow is off to the side, and he said to me, you know what, my girlfriend's celiac, and do you realize 85% of the recipes in this book are gluten-free? And I'm like, that makes sense to me. No, it's not something I set out to do, but I'm really glad to know that. And he wanted the book because there were so many options. And so, it's sort of tempting to go, and someone wrote, oh, well, she did these salads in the book, and I was expecting stews and soups. And it's like, well, that's the obvious path, but the unobvious path is to turn these things into things that, yes, you think about, the things you don't think about. So I balanced all that out. I think the book would be completely boring if it was just soups and stews. It was like. So anyway, it was this very deep dive, and I had great fun doing it.